A lot of this isn't going to make sense to you, and I'm sorry about that. I'm just going to start at the beginning, with the house. I lived here until I was 11, but I wasn't allowed inside half the rooms. Inside the mailbox were bills from 7 years ago, marked urgent, open immediately. I hadn't been back since my brother Lewis's funeral. In her will, my mother left me a key, but didn't tell me what it unlocked. Maybe she thought I'd know. Or she thought the mystery would be enough to bring me back. The truth is, even after I inherited the house, I never thought I'd come back to it. But now I had questions about my family that only the house knew the answers to. The woods around the house have always been uncomfortably silent, as if they're about to say something but never do.
Ah, バスケットのシュートがゴールがある。下道で正解だったの？やっば。 ボールは
The house was exactly like I remembered it, the way I'd been
家を覚
dreaming
えている
about
通
it.
りそのままだった。夢で見たのか同じ夢見たんかい。
As a child, the house made me uncomfortable in a way I couldn't put into words. Now, as a 17-year-old, I knew exactly what those words were. I was afraid of the house.
あ、違った。すごいじゃん。バリアフリーされてる。ピンポン。
I hoped the key might unlock the front door.
鍵で玄関のドア開ければ
It didn't.
と思ったけど、あ、わかった。違うんかい。開けたくないな、ハロー。
Looking in, I felt like the house
中を
itself
覗く
had
と
been
家
waiting
はそ
for
れ
me.
自体のスケールモデルみたいだった。どっから入るんだろう。あ、ズームがある。走ることできないの？走れない走れない。こんな家にところに建てちゃうなよ。から入る。
Crawling through the doggy door used to be a lot easier when I was 11.
は11歳の時の方がよほど簡単だったっけ。そりゃそうだよ。テニスボールだ。あー、これでね、打つんだね。ちょっと打点が高いね。
For the first time in years,
久しぶりにオープンドドア。
I felt like I was home.
に見える気分がした。あー、広いキ
But
ッチン
instead
だ
of
な。
a family, there were just
でも
memories
家
of
族の
one.
代わりにあるのは記憶の抜け殻。
Like how after Lewis started working at the cannery, we all got sick of eating salmon, except our cat,
みんな
Molly.
先に嫌気がさしたことか。猫のおやつになったのかな。おー、起動してる。うわお、鮭がいっぱい。これは嫌になる。
The table was still a wreck from the
私
night we
たちが買っ
left.
た夜のままテーブルは散らかっていた。
It was like a bomb had gone off, killing everyone
まる
but
で
sparing
爆
the
弾が落ちて
furniture.
きてみんな殺されたけど家財道具だけ無事に残ったみたいな言い方が。ちょっとかびてるね。あー、おばあちゃん酸素してたんだね。おばあちゃんか知らないけど。音楽起動しないの？
Nothing in the house looked
家の
abnormal.
中で特
There
に
was just
変なとこ
too
ろはなかっ
much
た。
of it,
家が
like
あ
a
りすぎる
smile with too many teeth.
と、言ってみれば歯が多すぎる笑顔みたいな。よくわからない。ケイト編んでたんだね。
Even the fireplace had a story.
暖炉にさ
Edie told me the bricks came
スト
from
ー
the
リー
original
があった。
house
イーデンによると
after it
沈んだ
sank.
最初の家のレンガで作られたそうだ。あ、いいテレビだね。あ、かわいい。
離脱またね、頑張って。
あいよ。
Mom always told me to stay out of the
母さんは
basement,
私
so I
にいつも
wasn't
地下室
too
に入ると
surprised
言
when
っ
the
て
key
いた
didn't
から
fit.
鍵が入らなくても驚かなかった。驚かなかった。トゥントゥルトゥントゥントゥントゥン。
Great Grandpa Sven built a music
おじい
box
ちゃ
for
んのス
Barbara.
ベンはバーバラ
along
の
with
た
the
め
rest
に
of
オ
the
ルゴールを
house.
作った。そして家の他の部分も。すげえバイオリンがある。 ああ、戦争時代。
A lot of things got left behind in the
あの
whirlwind
夜
of
の
that
混
last
乱の
night.
中、たくさんのものが取り残された。上
After Milton disappeared, Mom sealed
ミル
up
ト
all the
ンが行方不
bedrooms.
明になった後、母さんは寝室をすべて封印した。
Then Edie retaliated and drilled
それでエイ
peepholes.
リーは反発して覗き穴を開けた。本がいっぱい。本大好きなんだね。うわー、シャチいるか。あー、かわいいかわいい。すごーい。覗き穴。
Molly always seemed like a girl I could imagine being friends with if she hadn't died in 1947.
早いって。これ何？死んだってこと？うわ、うわ。
I spent a lot of time playing in Great Uncle Walter's room. I think my mom sometimes regretted not sealing it up.
後悔したんじゃないかと思う。いやー、これ遊びたいね。妄想が膨らむよ。
Lewis told me there were secret passages, but I never believed him.
ルイスは秘密の通路があると言っていたけど、私はそれを信じなかった。ここ。開いた。
Turns out, my mom was really good at keeping
お母
secrets.
さんは秘密を守るのがうまかった。オープンザド
Now
ア。
it was time to find out what my mom had been
今
afraid
こそ
of.
母さんが何を恐れていたのか見つけ出す時だ。何を恐れてたんだろうね、お母さんは。
From the paintings on the wall, it was clear my brother Milton had been here before
私
me.
の前にミルトンがここにいたのは明らかだった。ミルトンって誰？いいね、秘密基地だ。
Reading this, maybe it sounds like I had a plan,
私には計画があったよ。思えるかもしれない。
but I had no idea what was
ドア
behind
の
that
中
door.
に何が持っているのか私も見当がつかない。おー。
Just like I had no idea where
こ
all
れ
this was
で
gonna
これまで
lead.
のことを全部どういう結末に向かうのかもわからない。へえ、フクロウの顔。ああ、いいね、これ。欲しいな。あ、さっきの見てたとこだ
I
ね。
grew up looking at Molly's room through the
私はモリー
peephole.
の部屋を覗き穴から見て育った。覗き見。
Molly's
Bah.
gerbil had a tiny
Molly
bedroom
knows
with its
none of
own,
this.
even
Sarang-
tiny.
いた。
Being inside for the first time, I felt like I'd stepped behind a painting.
絵の後ろに入ったような気分だった。これいいね。うわ、すごいすごい。海外のさ、こういうところいいと思う。幻想が膨らむ。これいい。クラゲ。
I got the sense Edie had spent a lot of time here
ここで多くの時間を過ごした
before
に違
my
いない
mom sealed the
お母
doors.
さんがドアを振ってしまう前は。あ、モーリー。フィンチって何？ 1947年12月13日日記さんいなくなる前にこれから起こることを誰かに伝えたい
December
の。
13th,
ある日ママが
1947.
夕食の
Dear
式で
Diary,
私は
I'll be
なか
gone
った。
soon, but I wanted to tell somebody about what's gonna happen. It started when Mom sent me to bed without dinner. I woke up and I was starving, so I looked around for
起きたら
something
お
to
腹
eat.
がペコペコで誰かだから食べ物を探しに行ったの。これモーリー視点かな。おー、金魚鉢。クリストファーっていう名前。 あらら、竹の笹が。
My Halloween candy was
ハロウィン
all
のキャンディーがな
gone.
くなってた。うわー、ショック。
Mom, can I come out
ママ
now?
ねえ、ママ、外に出ていい？もうそうはいい頃からもう寝なさい。なんで鍵閉めんの？
The gerbil food was dry, but I didn't
ネズ
mind
ミの
it.
餌は乾きって言った。それでも平気。うっそーん、食べた。お腹壊すって。だってネズミだよ。トイレ吐いちゃう？
I kept eating and eating.
食べて食べて食べ続けて。それも食べるの？うっそやろー。ああ。
I ate a lot of things that night.
食べたの、夜いっぱい。それ飾りでしょ？そう、終えて吐いちゃえ。いや、吐けよ。そんなもん食べたら死んじゃうよ。この家
Then
何
I
な
heard
の？
chirping outside my window.
そしたら今の外で鳥の声がした。
It was a barn swallow going back to her
帰ろうとしてい
nest.
るツバメさん。おっと。
I reached out for her.
手を伸ばして捕まえようとしたら、
And suddenly,
いきなり。わお！嘘！
I was a cat.
猫になってたの。嘘やろ。幻想いっぱい。お
I
ー。
tried to be quiet, but the bird
静
was
かにして
really
いたけど
scared.
鳥さんは怖がってた。すげえ。
Mom and Dad didn't even look at me.
ママもパパも私に目をくれない。パパ、おひげが。
I jumped and I almost got her.
そういや、あら。
I could tell she was getting really tired. Now I was up in the big tree. I promised Dad I wouldn't climb it anymore. All I cared about was eating that mama bird.
でもお母さんが鳥を食べたくてしょうがなかった。それ鶏だよ。
I gobbled her up. And suddenly, I was an owl.
突然ウブロになってい
First,
た。
all I heard was the wind. Then I heard little teeth nibbling in the grass. Rabbits.
Rabbit. I'm hungry.
I imagined his face looking up and seeing mine through my talons. I swallowed him up, and I didn't chew one bit. Then I flew off to find something bigger.
ごいな。フクロウってウサギ食べるの？
A mama rabbit.
お母さんのウサギ。はい。ああ、下手だな。お母さんのウサギゲット。
She was almost too big to carry. I started choking, but I couldn't stop eating. And suddenly, I was a shark.
Yeah. ああ、エラ呼吸。ここ海あるの
I rolled off a cliff and into the ocean. I wanted fat, juicy seals. Tasted really good.
Mama.
Grabbed on tight. When I was so hungry, I jumped out of the water. When I opened my eyes, everything had changed. Now I was a monster, and I smelled people everywhere. I was big, but I moved real quiet.
Yeah!
I wanted to stop, but also I didn't. Passenger, I was still hungry. And to cross the water, I smelled something new. Something I had to have, so I swam towards it.
あ、まだ怪物なの。
I slithered onto the sand, and the good smell went into an old pipe. I got closer and closer. All my stomach started growling. And suddenly, I was me again. I held my breath for a long time, but I couldn't hear anything. It's waiting for me to fall asleep. But it's not going to wait much longer. It needs to feed, and we both know I will be delicious.
私は本当に美味しいって。
I'm not sure if I believed all of that, but I'm sure Edie would have.
私はそれを全部買うわけじゃないけど、もう早いって、ちょっと早いな。クロスヘアって何？まあ、これでオンにしてみて、あ、これ丸がついただけじゃん。ここトイレね。え？鎖がない。
This will be obvious later, but my mom never told me any of these stories. Edie would have, but Mom didn't like bringing up the past. Though, when we adopted a stray kitten, she was the one who named it Molly. I spent a lot of time in Great-Grandma Edie's room. We got along, and it was a good place to hide from my mom. Her room was like a museum. For 500 years, the Finches have been famous throughout Norway for their fortune and misfortune. Odin Finch buries the latest victims of the family curse, his wife Ingeborg and their newborn son, Johan. On January 7th, 1937, he set sail with his family and his house, hoping to leave the curse behind. But 40-foot waves off the coast of Washington send the house and Odin to the bottom of the sea. Odin's daughter Edie, with husband Sven and baby Molly, step ashore on their new home, Orcas Island. Odin Finch is the first to be buried in the new family cemetery. His daughter Edie is already dreaming of a new Finch house. Whatever's wrong with this family, it goes back a long ways. Even in her 90s, sometimes Edie seemed a lot younger than my mother.
Wow, pink. すごいなこの風呂。窓、ガラス。
The only trace Grandpa Sam's first wife Kay left on the house was the pink bathroom. It was a pretty big trace.
ここも鍵。
It's in the last place you would look. It isn't in the cupboard. It's hidden in this book.
おお。
Sven gave Sam an old camera he'd refurbished. He never put it down.
ああ、写真のね、なんて言うんだっけ、フィルムを現像するところね。おお。かっこいいな。うわー、夢いいなこれ。通りたい。
I knew Grandpa Sam had a twin. And that he never talked about him. I guess my grandpa didn't like history any more than my mom did.
How I Want to Remember My Brother by Sam Finch. The thing I remember is that when he made up his mind, that was it.
あ、また。あ、足折れてんな。
My brother said he'd die before he ate another mushroom, and he did. At Barbara's funeral, we swore we'd never be afraid again. And he wasn't. I think Calvin always wanted to fly.
Sam! Calvin! Dinner's ready! Coming!
But that day, he finally made up his mind to do it. I told him going around was impossible. Maybe if I hadn't said that,
うわー、ぐるっと一周するんだ。
Not gonna tell you again!
maybe if the wind hadn't picked up, then maybe he'd still be here. But I doubt it. I think he'd already made up his mind. That's what I want to remember about my brother.
おー。おー、いけるいける。行くんだ。あー。
The day he made up his mind to fly, and he didn't.
いや
Calvin's story felt
So-
strangely familiar. When I was younger, I remember trying to do the exact same thing. After the funeral, Edie roped off Calvin's half of the room.
ああ、これカルビン
Mom
側
said
なんだ。
Grandpa Sam enlisted at 18 and never set foot in the room again.
あ、毛虫だ。へえ。不思議や。何かにある。
The passages were a pretty tight fit. They'd obviously been built for smaller hands and bellies.
Whenever people ask me about my family, the first thing they always want to know about is Barbara. Edie's father, Odin, built the original house. Growing up, I always thought of Barbara as a child star.
こんなところに。いや、いいよ。
I never thought about how hard it must have been for her afterwards. Of all the stories people wrote about Barbara's death, I'm surprised Edie saved this one.
Old Jack here with another ghastly tale inspired by America's most unfortunate family. I'm calling it The Surprise Ending of Barbara Finch. As a child star, Barbara was famous for her scream. Now at 16, she was all washed up, a has-been. But in a lucky break, she'd been asked to perform her signature scream at a local convention for monster movie fans. It was just the boost her career needed. Unfortunately, her scream hadn't aged well.
Getting better. I think you just need the right motivation.
Her biggest fan and current boyfriend, Rick, was about to demonstrate when...
Now that was a great scream.
It was Barbara's father, Sven. He'd slipped into a table saw and had to be rushed to the emergency room. So Barbara got stuck babysitting her youngest brother, Walter. Her convention comeback was cancelled.
Okay, I'm hearing frustration, but I'm not hearing terror. What if I tried...
A gang of hoodlums in Halloween masks have been terrorizing Orcas Island tonight. Police are urging residents to...
That came from the basement.
You're right! Also, I loved your delivery on that. Why is your basement door locked?
Because my dad likes making puzzles and secret passages. There's a key hidden in the music box. The secret is to keep winding and winding until finally the key pops out.
Thanks, babe. I'll be back in a sec.
20 minutes later, Rick hadn't returned. So Barbara went to look for him, right on cue. She reached for the music box. And as she wound the key, she listened for Rick, but the house was silent.
Oh.
Rick's crutch and imagine the worst.
The gang's leader is the infamous Hookman Killer, Dr. Carl Hamill, who impaled and then ate his family 10 years ago tonight.
Goldfinch rattled and grew still.
Rick?
Barb, relax. I was just trying to scare you to help you find your scream.
Well, I'm not scared, Rick. I'm furious.
Then act furious. All I'm getting from you now is that you're hurt and confused and you...
She threw him out, but she kept a little something to remember him by.
Barb, have you seen my other crutch?
And she was still holding it when she fell asleep watching the Late Picture Show. Hours later...
Barbara! Walter, what's going on up there? Ah! Okay, I'm coming up, but if this is a trick, you're dead, Walter.
また松葉杖で。ああ、痛い痛い。飲んじゃった。
Walter had vanished, but his bedside radio was still on.
Orcas Island police describe the man as 6 feet tall, with a steel hook for a hand. Residents are urged to lock all doors and windows and notify the police of any suspicious activity.
Barbara turned, saw the hook man, and was speechless. He was quite smashing. He couldn't get enough of Barbara.
Okay, Barbara, there's gotta be another way out of here.
She played her part beautifully. She thought about abandoning Walter, but just couldn't do it. Molly's door hadn't been opened in years. The hinges grow.
Here.
He wasn't moving, but she sensed the story might not be over yet.
Yeah, 早く降りれる。
The hookman had vanished. She listened for his breathing, but all she heard was... was coming from inside the house.
Oh dear.
Bravo, Barbara! You were wonderful! The monsters had come to surprise her. For Barbara, it was a dream come true. Then she saw what kind of monsters they were, and she realized what was about to happen. She was going to be famous. And with her final breath, Barbara Finch gave the performance of her life. I wasn't there myself, but I hear Barbara was magnificent. Poor girl. She had a taste for stardom. But unfortunately, so did her fans. Of course, the police blamed it all on poor Rick, who disappeared the same night. And little Walter, hiding under his bed the whole time. He took it all pretty hard, but that's another story. As for Barbara, tucked inside the music box is all they ever found of her. Her ear. Now that's what I call a real eerie tale.
Edie told me all Barbara wanted was to be remembered, as absurd as that comic was. Maybe what Edie saw was a happy ending. I guess now I know why Mom didn't like me playing with the music box. Mom said the basement was off limits, unless I wanted another tetanus shot. I saw Edie sneak down to the basement once, carrying packages. I thought maybe she was hiding presents. It turned out she was hiding a lot more than that. I remember asking Mom once about where Walter had gone. She said after Barbara died, he got as far away as he could. If there's a pattern in all these stories, I think it's that none of us has gotten very far.
Goodbye, everyone. I can't believe I've been down here for 30 years. On that first day, after the shaking started, I didn't think I'd survive a week. But after a few days, I settled into a routine. That's what kept me sane. Having a schedule, living for today. I always expected to be dead tomorrow. But if you wait long enough, you get used to anything. Even a monster on the other side of the door starts to feel normal. Almost friendly. And then one day, everything just stopped. Whatever that thing was, it was gone. Maybe it got tired of waiting. Or maybe I just got tired of being afraid. It's been a week now, the longest in 30 years. I'm done waiting. I have to leave. Well, I still can. I know it's out there, somewhere. Whatever killed Barbara and Molly and Calvin. Maybe this is all a mistake. But I need to stop living the same day, even if it kills me. Whatever's out there, I want you to know I'm ready for it. I'm going to appreciate all of it, especially the food. I don't mind if I only have a year left, or a month, or a single week. I'd be happy with one more day. I can already imagine the sun on my face.
Walter died when I was 6. I can't believe my mom never told me he was down here. I'm sure my mom was trying to protect me. Maybe she was afraid I'd end up like Walter. But if she never told me about an uncle under the house, I can only imagine what else she was hiding. I don't want to make the same mistakes she made, trying to bury something that's still alive.
Now that there's only one of us left, or maybe two, I thought it was time I heard the stories for myself and found out what happened to everyone else. Might be the problem. Maybe we believed so much in a family curse, we made it real. I don't know if I should even be writing this. Maybe it'd be better if all this just died with me. But I thought you should know about your family. And the history you're a part of. Though to be honest, I feel as lost as you probably do right now. I think the people in these stories believed them, for what that's worth. And when you look at the house, that history of imagination and stubbornness and madness, any of it seems possible. I think we've been surrounded by death for so long, we've just gotten used to it. What kind of family finishes building a cemetery before starting the house? It's embarrassing for me to admit this, but the pet cemetery made me more uncomfortable than the human one. 3 of the gerbils are mine, and 2 had been my fault. Sven built the house, but it was Edie who designed the cemetery. I'm sure Odin's monument had been Edie's idea. My mom was always trying to move on, but for Edie, the past never went away. She could see it poking out of the water at low tide. Edie said she dreamed about the old house every night. Edie's side was always easier for me to understand. But the older I get, the more I can see where my mom was coming from. She lost 2 of her brothers, just like I did. I get why she tried so hard to protect us. There's so many things I wish I could ask my mom now.
Part of me thinks this is what she wanted all along. For me to come back someday and find everything out for myself. But looking back on it now, if she told me there was going to be so much climbing, I never would have come when I was 22 weeks pregnant. I never met Grandpa Sam, but I think he and my mom had a lot in common. They were both pretty intense.
Dawn, I promise, you'll never forget this weekend.
Yes, sir.
These memories are gonna last a lifetime.
Hmm? Am I gonna have to shoot anything?
It's a hunting trip, Dawn. Shooting is strongly encouraged.
What?
Perfect.
It's gonna rain the whole weekend, isn't it? Please just take the damn picture.
Hey, language.
I will never forget this weekend, Dad.
That's the spirit. Smile, Dawn. Okay, got it.
I'm gonna take some pictures, okay?
Just be careful. That camera's older than you are. Hey!
That's a keeper.
Definitely should not have drunk all that coffee. I'm just saying, I'm not always gonna be here, Dawn. You'll need to remember this stuff, if you want to survive.
I'll be fine, Dad.
You know who else thought he was gonna be fine?
Some guy who died.
Dawn, I'm being serious.
I know, Dad. You're always serious. Doesn't being out here make you want to chill out?
Well, to tell you the truth, I haven't been out here in 20 years. Last time I was with my brother Calvin. Man, that was a great trip. Your grandpa's Fen taught us how to fish. Dawn, don't you think you could find something more interesting to photograph? We found an old logging trail with deer everywhere. I bet if I could remember where that trail was, we'd spot a buck for you in no time. Give me a minute to check the map. You don't need to waste any more film on me, kiddo. Let's see.
初見です。
ああ、ほう、すーちゃん。ああ、やばいこれ。
What was it?
Dad!
Good eyes, Dawn. Before you take the shot, let me get a picture of you.
Dad, I...
Just breathe. Turn off your imagination. Focus. Let me get behind you.
Do I have to do this?
Dawn, you don't have to do anything. But if you want to survive, you'll need to be strong. Great shot, Dawn! I'm proud of you, Dawn. Always remember that, okay?
Dad, it's twitching. I think
That's
it's
totally normal, Dawn. Just focus on the camera. Try not to think about—
Dad!
Ah!
Of all these stories, that's the one I wish most that my mom had told me.
災難だなあ。待って、これめっちゃ酔う。いやー、めっちゃ酔うよこれ。ちょっとこれで終わる。酔った。じゃあまたねー。